You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, so you may on Twitter the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you in the Let's Play episode of Mice Tea. Y'all been requesting I cover this again. It's on regular rotation now, so no worries about that. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Okay, that's the thing. She's actually moving back. She found a job or something? I'm not sure. She's been kind of cagey about why she's back. It has me sort of worried. Well, if something's wrong, I'm sure seeing an old friend will cheer her up. Hopefully. Uh-oh. Julie! Margaret, it's been too long! Deal with it, I love that. And you're Gavin, right? That's me! Nice to meet you. Need a drink? So you were Margaret's roommate in college? Yep, the whole time we were at Pine Martin, except for the time when I was studying abroad. That was the semester I lived with Barbara. I was so glad when you got back. Oh yeah, that chick was so uptight. Wasn't her dad a lobbyist in Washington for a church or something? Something like that. One time she saw me kissing this girl in the dorm's common area. By the time I got back to my room, I had 5 unread tests asking who she was and what happened to the guy I was dating a month before. Shit, she probably thought I was corrupting you. To be fair, that's probably not too far off from what actually happened. So what was baby Margaret like? Was? Come on, Margaret's still a baby. Look at this face. Hey! But she was even more of a nervous wreck than back then, if you can believe it. Yeah, Julie had to stand up for me a lot back then. Yeah, I made sure you got at least extra A's in your classes and got you out of even more bad relationships. Hopefully some of it rubbed off on me over 4 years. At least a little has. It had to rub off after all that. Hey, aren't you going to ask me how I met Gavin? I don't think you ever visited Tea Friends when you lived here. Wait, this is the guy who owns that tea shop you're always going to? Of course you're friends with him now. Hey, it's not just because he runs the store. We have lots of stuff in common. I think things started mostly when you called me from that costume party. Oh god, that thing? What happened? So, this lady I just become friends with invited me over to this costume party, and I think, great, this is the perfect opportunity to reuse my Pippi Longstocking costume from Halloween. But I get there and nobody's wearing a costume. Maybe a few girls are wearing flapper headbands and some guys are wearing sports jerseys, but that's it. So I immediately run into the bathroom and text any friend who will show up with a cheap costume just so I don't stand out and I have someone to talk with. I just got Gavin's phone number the week before and he was the only one who responded. Put on my loosest dress shirt and picked up a few pirate accessories from a party supply shop down the street and made my way over there. He was a total hit too. That lady still asks to hang out together sometimes. We've been trading favors back and forth ever since. Who's owed one right now? Pretty sure you after I asked you to pick up that bourbon they only had in stock in Brixton. Yeah, we're basically friends because we keep getting in blood debts to each other. I'll admit, being my best customer doesn't hurt. See, I knew it. Didn't think weekend drinks commiserating about nightmare customers would be a regular thing, though. Plus, there was the time she needed a date for her sister's wedding. Ooh, you didn't tell me it was like that. That was just for appearances. Her relatives are really naggy about her being hitched. Yeah, you know how Brazilian aunts can be. They never let me hear the end of it. Margaret, how many times do I need to tell you? Nobody knows what Brazilian aunts are like. That isn't actually a relevant paradigm for Americans. Sorry, they're not as well known to Americans as Chinese parents, but at least you didn't have to be raised by them. Just gonna sit quietly over here being white. Well, TS expect you to get married before you turn into a 28-year-old spinster, okay? But enough about me. You have to tell me about France. And the museums had pieces in rotation I never thought I'd get to see in person. Oh my god, how much have they been drinking? Box. Okay. And there's so much historical shit. There was this one bathroom with a little plaque that listed all the people who beat that. What? What? That's not true. No, I'm totally serious. And don't get me started on the food. You would have loved the cafes there. The servers leave you alone to read and hang out for a few hours. They just fill your cup when you're low. Sounds perfect for you. My local one had a great tea selection. The menu goes on for pages. It sounds amazing. Maybe you can take me sometime. If I ever get time off. So, what brings you back? Did you miss me that much? Oh, I just got a bit homesick is all. I'll go back eventually. I'll totally bring you too. I should ask if you ever got around to opening that reading cafe though. Oh, I haven't looked into it too much. Too busy running that bookstore? Oh god. You're definitely managing it, right? There's no way that Felix is the guy in charge. Well, I was offered You turned it down?
Plug. She sure did.
Margaret, Herman, and Lawrence were totally gonna hand you the store. Those two guys loved you. You were basically their daughter.
Well, first she claimed she couldn't handle the pressure. Then there was the week where she wrote down a list of all the ways she could fail. Which was after the week where she binged business management books without sleeping.
Margaret! Running a business is a big deal, okay? You can't just do it all willy-nilly. You have to have a plan. You have to know what you're doing. I didn't go to school for that. I have a degree in English. How's that going to help? And Barlow's already exists. How am I supposed to start from scratch? What if it doesn't work out? What if I lose a ton of money? What if the building burns down?
Jesus Christ. Hey, slow down. Lord, she drinks about as much as an It's Always Sunny character.
I'm fine. I can handle a couple of beers. That's not a couple of beers. That's a lot of alcohol. Oh yeah, and is Felix doing any better job as a manager? The guy threw up and cried after he tried a rum and coke. He'd never had that much refined sugar before. It was too much for him. And he's perfectly, fine at his job. A great fit, actually.
Which is why you've worked 24 days in a row.
Knew it. He sucks. He does not suck. He just has a lot going on right now. It doesn't help Sylvia misses half her shifts. I've missed my past 3 days off because of her. She's the one causing problems. And what's he doing about that? We're both thinking about broaching the subject with her. Whatever. You should have dumped him a long time ago. Once you take that first step, the rest comes easily. Do you think living abroad was easy? I missed my friends and family, and I also had a language barrier. I barely managed to find a job before my visa was up. But even after all that, it ended up being totally worth it. I may never have a chance to have that kind of experience again. Yeah, but that wasn't a business. You didn't have to take on a bunch of financial risk. Worst case scenario, you were out the cost of a plane ticket. That's not how it works, Margaret. It's not like you'd know. You're not a business owner, are you? The music is stopping. I glare at Julie and ball my hands into fists. What right does she have to judge me? The alcohol and adrenaline coursing through my veins strains my natural tendency to avoid conflict. I haven't been this close to a fight since high school.
You don't actually have to repay a business loan if you default.
You see? I told you, there's no way I can... Wait, I don't have to do what?
You're not personally reliable for a business loan as long as you operate under an LLC.
LLC?
Limited liability company. Didn't you ever take a business class?
I'm an English major.
Huh. I thought LLCs were common knowledge.
Yep, I did research into that when I started Drake Wing Gaming LLC. Unfortunately, I had to dissolve it because I moved to California, and you cannot take a Georgia business to California, so...
Didn't you learn that one of the business books... Didn't you learn that one of those business books you read?
No! Not that I remember, at least. Okay, maybe I did, but I kept overthinking things and just felt overwhelmed. My drunken rage was replaced with exasperation. So, when are you opening? Opening what? The Reading Cafe, duh! Well, I do have a little money. Maybe I could quit my job and... Wait, what am I talking about? I can't do that. Why not? Well, Felix needs me. Screw him. If he can't bother to give you a day off, why should you care? But I really like the store. I'd be dooming it. It's not your store, Margaret. Take control of your life. Quit your job. Start the cafe. I can be your first employee. It'll be great.
As much as I like the cafe ideas, you probably shouldn't commit to it after this many drinks. Until then, Lord knows I could use a little extra help around my shop.
I mean, maybe if I had something to tide me over until starting in earnest.
I can guarantee you days off, too. Give you some time to plan your approach to the cafe before diving in.
Yeah!
Business loan might be easy enough to get if you have good credit. Plus, I heard the space next to mine is going up for lease. If you're quick enough, we could be neighbors. Put together a confident business plan and show it around town. Might get some bites.
Huh. A business plan. We have a few more drinks before I excuse myself. They're patient enough to listen to a few more complaints about Sylvia and Felix, but they don't press the cafe idea much more. Maybe the beer is doing its share of encouragement, but I'm more confident in the idea than ever before. Or maybe I just need some goal, however vague, to work toward. Either way, the night is exactly what I needed. I drank way too much. Tubibasha. I don't know what that means. I need some water in me if I don't want to be hungover tomorrow.
Oh god. Man, she looks drunk as fuck.
I might as well make some tea. I pour water into the electric kettle and flick on the switch. Maybe I'll try that weird floor tea. I rummage through my purse and pull out the box I found earlier. Inside are rows of tea bags, each with a tag. The writing definitely isn't English. Is Chinese? How am I supposed to know what this is? I pick up a tea bag and squint at the bag. Well, there's just some claws on the top with some little dashes and cages under that. I bring it to my nose and inhale deeply. Cough, cough. It smells like flowers. No, cotton. No, it's like a sunny, high-pitched smell. But can a smell be a high-pitched? Oh my gosh, do I have a Symphonia? Synthemathia? Semi-sneezily? What's that thing where you smell noises? Whatever, I'll just has it tasted to find out. Ugh, what's the water boils that is? Come on, water! Water ignores my pleas in favor of its usual steady pace. Fine, I'll be patient. Oh no. Fine, I'll get some snacks or something. I trudge over to the fridge and like it's an uphill hike through the snow. There's a plastic zip bag with a third of a block of cheese inside. Yeah, that's a nice adult snack. Get some crackers or something. I pull the cheese out and dump it on a plate before pouring a handful of crackers out of a box I found. That should be enough time, right? Click. Yeah, tea time! I pour the hot water into my teapot. How many tea bags is it? The teapot holds, 32 ounces, and I want to use 1 tea bag per 8 ounces of water. And if I divide for 32 by 8, I get, 8 bags? Put 8 bags of shrinking size play. Oh dear. Am I going to have to do a little bit of editing? Shrinking size play. Yes. 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 Do it. Oh man. How much am I going to have to... That's right. 8 tea bags. I plunk 8 tea bags in the teapot, causing the water inside to overflow. Soon enough, an intense aroma of grass and berries billows from the pot. Let's, there we go. Yeah, it's ready! My teacup and mug collection greets me as I open the cupboard and make up most of my drinkware. I rummage around and pull out a ceramic teacup I'd been gifted for a birthday. I pour a generous portion of the concoction into the empty teacup, nearly overfilling it. After blowing on it a few times, I throw it back. The moment the tea hits my tongue, it's like I'm looking into the sun on a bright summer's day. My mouth is overwhelmed by an assault of more flavory flavors than I can identify in a meadow's worth of grass. Cloyingly sweet berry juice seeps throughout the tea and tickles my sinuses. The flavor is bracing, but matched against the stupor of my drunkenness, it's invigorating. Every parched surface is instantly soothed by the tea that feels thick and syrupy in my mouth. I down the whole cup in one swig. Phew! That's some strong tea. More of this stuff and I'll be sober in no time. Oh my. Hick! Oh no. I pour myself another cup and drain it even quicker than the first. It feels like the tea is blasting away all the clamminess and crudiness and dryness of my drunkenness with a fire hose. Oh my goodness. My skin feels tingly and bright, and my joints looser and more supple. I bounce in place as the exhilarating elixir courses through me. Man, who needs beer? I'm drinking only this stuff from now on. Oh no. I manically pour cup after cup of tea. I don't set down the teapot between pours. Once I reach the last dregs, I don't bother to fill my cup anymore, so I pour straight from the spout into my mouth. Ah, phooey, I'm out of stuff. Gotta make a lot more. I fill the electric kettle to its capacity. That's way not enough. I gotta make a whole lot of a bunch. I pull out a kettle from my stovetop and place it on the burner after filling it with water. There, that should be good. This should be enough. If this water will ever friggin' boil. I stare at the clock, watching the second hand move slower and slower. At the same time, I can feel a huge amount of energy pulsing out from my stomach, coursing through every vein, muscle, and bone in my body. Holy moly, I feel good. I bet I could lift up a truck with like this. Whew! Yeah! Ah! What the heck? Why are my pants so friggin' baggy? Oh, ho, ho! Must be a miracle tea that makes you lose weight. I knew it was gonna be the good stuff. Woo! Yeah, more tea! Grabbing a fistful of tea bags, I throw another 8-ish into the teapot. Good God! I lift the electric kettle off the table. Oof, this girl's way too heavy, like really heavy. What the heck? I'm probably just tired from all that running. With considerable effort, I poured the fill to the brim kettle into the teapot, splashing water on the table as I go. A couple more tea bags should do it. I put another 2 or 3 or 5 bags into the pot. Yeah, perfection. Girl, you know how much fucking caffeine that is? I'm able to contain myself and run a couple more laps, waiting for the tea to steep. Yeah! Yeah! As I pass the fridge, I pull out a handful of ice cubes. I toss them in the teapot. I can't wait any longer! I pour its contents directly into my mouth. Good lord, woman. Thanks to my ingenuity, the water is cool just enough to be drinkable. Raging heat pours down my throat and courses throughout my body, flowing through every fiber, every pore, and every cell. If the last batch was like staring at the sun, this is like standing on its surface. It's so good! From the moment I consume the first drop, I know I won't be able to stop until the tea is gone. My soreness and fat feel like they're melting away, unneeded and unnecessary. Eventually the teapot runs dry, leaving me still wanting. More! I overshoot the counter as I run toward it. Huh? Where did my glasses go? How's the counter all the way up there? After half a moment of pondering, I push those questions out of my mind. The answers aren't going to get me more tea after all. I heft the kettle from the stove with both hands, using my sleeves as makeshift pot holders. Ah, so heavy! Carrying the kettle feels like lifting a wheelbarrow. By the time I reach the table, I'm practically dragging it behind me. When I turn back to the table, the surface sits at eye level. The table's huge too? With a burst of strength that a heavy lifter would admire, I hoist the kettle above my head and place it on the table. I take a quick breather as my workout is not quite done. I lift my weight, preparing myself for more heavy lifting. Gripping the kettle's handle and lifting with all my strength, I tip it toward the teapot, my arms trembling. Why is it so hard suddenly? Only half the water actually makes it into the teapot. Come on, I need more tea! My whole body is trembling. My arms and legs are ready to give out. My grip loosens on the kettle. I pull the kettle closer to me in an attempt to get a better grip. The shift in weight is too much for my legs. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Alright, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Looks like we're gonna get some more fun in the next episode. Alright, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!